Hey guys, it's me. It's a 16-1 practice buddy, independent practice. What I did was I assigned two. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the questions for the independent practice on this video. I'm going to solve them all. You can get a really easy score if you watch the video and answer the questions. It gives you a good score on the independent practice. I'm also assigning practice additional. We're going to go over practice additional on Tuesday, and then we'll go over a quick check on Thursday, okay? Or Wednesday, I'm sorry. And then we'll do any questions on Thursday. We probably won't Zoom on Friday. Remember, this is the last lesson. I did assign you 3 lessons. 3 things to do. First is independent, which is if you watch the video, you'll have 100. The next is your buddy practice additional. That's going to be where we're going to do that during Zoom. So once again, if you join the Zoom, you should be able to get at least half of those questions. And then we're going to go over the quick check on Wednesday. And then any questions with anything anybody has on Thursday. And then that's going to be it for our Zooms for the rest of the year. So if we look at this first question, it says identify the polygon using as many names as possible. Okay. So we know that it has 4 sides. That's pretty obvious. So I'm going to go and, whoops, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and mark quadrilateral. Okay. Super easy. Okay. That's one of the things. I know that it is also a parallelogram because it has 2 pair of parallel sides. So I'm going to check parallelogram. And because it's a parallelogram, it's not a trapezoid. Okay. We know that this is not a rectangle or a square because it doesn't have 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm crossing those off, and it has all equal sides and doesn't have 90 degrees, so then therefore my answer is a rhombus. So if you view my video, you will have a free 100% as your buddy practice independent grade. So this is it. This is my last video as far as me doing anything on here. Once again, I hope you guys have had a good year and you've learned a lot from me. I do appreciate everybody who has been on my Zoom lessons with me. I think that's really helped you. And remember, anything you need from me, math-wise, science-wise, or personally, anything that I can help you with or problems that I can solve for you, or just if you need anything at all, don't ever hesitate to reach out and get a hold of me. All right? I hope this video helped you guys with your quadrilaterals. As again, be safe, help out at home, and be the best version of yourself. Okay, question number 2. Identify the polygon, use as many names as possible. Once again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So we know it's a quadrilateral. Okay, now this one's a pretty obvious one as far as ones that we can eliminate. It's not a square, it's not a rectangle, and that's because, for one, it's not a square because it doesn't have equal sides. It's not a square or rectangle because it doesn't have all 90 degrees. It's not a rhombus because, remember, in a rhombus, all sides are equal, and that is not the case here. Okay. It is also not a parallelogram because these lines here are going to touch. Now, it has these lines right here, and those lines are going to go on and on and on forever and ever, and those are never going to touch. So if you remember in class, sometimes when I do my little parallel, never touch, well, we only have 1 pair. It's the top and the bottom. So because of that, it's not a parallelogram, but we know that it is a trapezoid. So this particular shape if I redraw it down here, is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides and it has 1 pair of parallel sides. And automatically, anytime it only has 1 pair, it's automatically a trapezoid. All 4. Next one. Okay. A parallel. Why is a rhombus also a parallelogram? Okay, so let me draw a rhombus. And what you should be doing is when you answer these questions, ooh, that's an awful rhombus. Okay. What you should be doing when you answer these questions is you should always, what I would recommend you to do is always draw a picture. It's really helpful. Okay. So we know a rhombus is a parallelogram. Why is it a parallelogram? Well, we know parallelograms. We know that opposite sides are parallel. So here my top and the bottom are parallel. They never touch, they never touch. Here's my left side and my right side. And they're also parallel. So how many pairs do I have? Well, I have my top and my bottom. That's 1 pair. And I have my left and my right side. That would be 2 pair. Okay. So which one would talk to me about that? Well, this one says no sides are the same length. That's not true because a rhombus has all equal sides. At most, 1 right angle. Okay, well, first of all, rhombuses don't have right angles. Second, I have 1 pair. I did have 1 pair, but I had 2 pair. Okay, super, super, super important. Okay, know that rhombus is a parallelogram because it has 2 pair of parallel sides. Next, which special quadrilateral is both a parallelogram and a rectangle? Well, this one you might have to go back to my video on quadrilateral, my quadrilateral overview video. I do talk about this big time in there. So I'm going to explain it a little bit in here, but if you want to get more in depth in it, I do talk about it in my video. Which special quadrilateral is both a parallelogram and a rectangle? Okay, so let me draw a rectangle. Okay. And what's another rectangle? Remember, squares are rectangle. Okay. So a square, remember it says special quadrilateral. Okay, well, a rectangle is not special. Okay. A square is special because a square is a parallelogram because my top and my bottom are parallel and my left and my right side are parallel. So a square is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel. Okay? A square is a rectangle because, now let's look at a rectangle. We have a rectangle has a left and a right side. They are the same. So my left and right are equal. Okay? My top and my bottom are also equal. Now let's look at a square. Okay? My top and bottom are equal and my left and right are equal. So opposite sides are equal. Well, that is true with a square. A square is a rectangle because opposite sides are equal or congruent. Remember, you're going to see the word congruent. Equal and congruent mean the same thing. Okay, the next one. Is it possible to draw a quadrilateral that is not a parallelogram but has 1 pair of parallel sides? Okay, so we're not going to focus on anything else but 1 pair of parallel lines. Okay, well, we know what that shape is. We've talked about it a bunch. Here is my, and we call that a trapezoid. One pair of parallel lines is a trapezoid. Trapezoid. Okay? So is it possible to draw a quadrilateral that is not a parallelogram, but has one pair of parallel sides? So a trapezoid is not a parallelogram, but a trapezoid does have parallel sides. So where it says no, 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 and then no. So it's either going to be choose the answer, the correct answer below. So it can be C, D, or F. Okay. And I don't know if this is multi, it says click to select your answer. Okay, I don't know if this is multi-select or not, but it should be. Yes, a trapezoid has only one pair of parallel lines, not necessarily the same length. Yes, a rhombus has one pair of parallel. That's not true. A rhombus is a parallelogram. Remember, if you're not sure, draw the shape. There's my really bad drawing of a rhombus. And yes, rhombuses have two pair. So that is not right. And then the last one says, yes, a rhombus has only one pair. No, that's not true. A rhombus has two pairs. So in this sense, C is the correct answer. Okay, so if you're watching my video so far, you should have all of them correct. And number 6, a parallelogram has 4 sides that are the same length. Is it a square? Okay, so let's think about all the shapes that have 4 equal sides. Okay, so if I have a regular parallelogram, nope. If I have a rectangle, nope. If I have a trapezoid, first of all, trapezoid is not a parallelogram, so no. If I have a square, okay, well, a square does check the box. And what about a parallelogram? Does a parallelogram have all equal sides? Remember, the only difference between a square and a parallelogram is a parallelogram doesn't have the 90-degree angles. A square does. Remember the 90-degree angles? Those little boxes in the corner? Well, a rhombus doesn't have that, but a rhombus does have equal sides like a square. So a parallelogram has 4 sides that are the same length. Is it a square? So it could be a square, but what else is it? Okay, so let's find that. So we know it's a square, but we also think it can be a rhombus. So a parallelogram is not a square because a square does not have equal length sides. Okay, that makes no sense. A parallelogram is a square because there are no other shapes that have 4 sides. Well, that's not true because we just said a rhombus has 4 equal sides, so that's not true. A parallelogram is not necessarily a square. It could be a trapezoid. Okay, well, we know that a trapezoid is not a parallelogram, so A parallelogram is not necessarily a square. It could also be a rhombus, since a rhombus is a parallelogram with 4 equal sides. Bing! Yay. Okay, so that's the right answer for number 6. Okay, notice what I'm doing when I'm answering these questions is I'm drawing pictures. You guys have done enough practice with the spell review this year with the back wall that you should be able to draw these pictures, go through these answers, and by drawing the pictures, it should help you. This week, number 7, easy one. What quadrilateral could have the side lengths of 4, 9, 4, and 9? Okay, well, remember, a trapezoid is this. Okay, so could I put these on a trapezoid? Okay, I could do like 4 and 4 here. I could do 9 here, but would that be 9? No, so that doesn't make sense. So it's not a trapezoid. Okay, I'm gonna go do a rhombus. Okay, I can have 4, 4. Remember, rhombus has all equal sides, so that would not be true. I can't have 4 and 4 and then 9 and 9. They all have to be the same. So no. Okay, And then a square would have to be the same as a rhombus, 4, 4, 9, and 9. So a square wouldn't work. So let's talk about a parallelogram. Remember, a parallelogram could be a rectangle. So this could be, these two are examples of parallelograms that you could do it with, because it doesn't say anything about 90-degree angles here. So we know a square is not going to work. Let me explain to you why a parallelogram works. So if I have 4 here, I have 4 here. If I have 9 here, I have 9 here. That would work. Same thing here. Here would be 4 on the left, here would be 4 on the right, 9 on the top, 9 at the bottom. These would work, and both of these are parallelogram. Remember, this one is just a parallelogram. This one is a parallelogram, but it's also a rectangle. So either one of them works. Okay, we just have to know that a parallelogram is the right answer. Okay, so that is question number 7. To do last one for the practice buddy, independent practice. Okay, or did I already do the I think this is the last one. Or did I only have 8 questions for this one? Anyway, well, I'll do this one. If it's the first one on the next one, then so be it. Okay. It says, which of the following statements is not true? That means that all of them are true. So remember, when you're doing these, you put true or false next to each one, and then that tells you. It says a parallelogram has one pair of opposite sides that are equal. That's not true. Okay? Because if I have my parallelogram, okay, it has one pair of opposite sides that are equal. Okay, well, that's not true, because that's one pair and that's 2 pair. So that is false. A square has 4 right angles. Here's my square. That is true. A rhombus has all sides are the same length. That's true. And a rectangle is also a quadrilateral. Well, that has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, so that's true. So the only one that's false was the first one. Now, as soon as you get like the first one, notice I didn't stop at false. I went and made sure that all the other ones were true. If I would have made a mistake, maybe I need to reread it, make sure that I know what I am talking about. More or less. Okay. So as far as additional practice questions, we're going to go over these questions on Tuesday after we go over the quick check, or the additional ones that we just got, or the independent ones that we just got done going over. We're going to go through them, and I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions, and we're going to do some of these. Now, I think there's only 7 questions in here. These are the multi-select ones. What I would recommend for you to do is, for example, this first one, it says identify the polygon. This is a multi-select question. Okay, and I'm going to solve this first one in case you get ambitious. And I'm going to go through each one, and I'm going to explain why or why not I did not choose this one. Okay, first of all, we know that this is not a square because it doesn't have 4 equal sides, and it doesn't have 4 right angles. We know that it's not a rhombus because it doesn't have 4 equal sides. We know that it's not a rectangle because it doesn't have 90 degrees. And it's none of these square, rhombus, or rectangle, all of them are parallelograms. This particular shape has one pair of parallel lines. If I try this way, they intersect, and that makes it have only one pair of parallel lines. Okay, so that tells us that it has one pair. We know it's not a parallelogram. It has 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral, and because it has one pair, we also know that it's a trapezoid. That's how you need to solve these. If you notice, you have one more like that, you have 2 more like that, you have 3 more like that. Then you have 4 more like that. 5 more like that. And then you have a couple of questions remember, like we did now. So this is the last question. Now these are your quick check questions. This is question number 1. You just choose which one and don't worry about these right now. We will go over them on Wednesday. So Tuesday is going to be your buddy practice day. Wednesday is going to be your other buddy practice day. Wednesday, Thursday, we'll probably go over the quick check. And then that will be